just like 2-3 days before my period, I started spotting, and I had all the PMS symptoms in the world. So I was pretty convinced that, this is it, and we have not conceived in this cycle also. I spotted for nearly 2 days, and on the third day, I stopped spotting, and it was all very, confusing for me. I also did not take a pregnancy test all these while because I was pretty convinced that this was my period. I did take a pregnancy test on that day, and I saw two lines. Second line was not very dark, but it was not light either. It was fairly enough to tell me that I was in fact pregnant. So I went to my doctor, and my doctor prescribed me HCG test. So if the HCG value comes above 25 MIU per ml, you are officially pregnant. So my first blood draw and my HCG value came out at 170, which was a pretty good number. My doctor was really happy that this was in fact a healthy, strong number. And the next aim was to see whether that number was doubling up every 48 to 72 hours. So at 3.5 weeks, I was officially told that I was pregnant. I followed up with a couple of more HCG tests, and the numbers were in fact doubling. At 5th week, I started spotting again. It was a reddish brown spot, and I, immediately my heart sank and it dropped. I went to my doctor again. She did the scan and she saw the gestational sac. She saw the yolk sac also. There was no heartbeat because it was too early, and everything was looking good except there was a subchorionic hemorrhage. There was a blood clot right beside my gestational sac. It was a small one, but the doctor said that since it was a very small gestational sac, we don't have to worry that much, but that needs to be followed by proper rest. You have to come in every week for some progesterone injections. I did do that. At 6.5 weeks, I went in again. The subchorionic hemorrhage, that blood clot was still there. I also heard my baby's heartbeat for the very first time. Everything was progressing very well. My doctor mentioned that the hemorrhage has not grown. It has not gone either. So you have to continue your rest and you have to continue with the progesterone injections. At 7 weeks, I was again, hit with a lot of vomiting and nausea. So I was on the floor all the time. I was not able to count also how much vomiting I used to do every single day. At around 10th week, I went in again and I saw that my hemorrhage was all cleared. It was all gone. My pregnancy was progressing pretty fine. At 12th week, I went in for my first level scan, that is the NT-NB scan. But there was one thing which was really concerning for the doctor.